Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I'm going to go over what my day is on a regular living with acute transverse myelitis. Now for a recap, acute transverse myelitis is an autoimmune disease that affected my nervous system, paralyzing me from the chest all the way down to my toes. Not everybody has the same symptoms to acute transverse myelitis. It's actually a very rare disease that no one really knows about it. And I happen to be one of those few who have it. My day starts at 5 a.m. and that's typical for me, Saturday through Sunday, even on the weekends. And I don't wake up at 5 a.m. because I work early in the morning. I actually work at 8:30, but I wake up at 5 a.m. because I need to work out. Now, I have a very busy family. I'm married to a beautiful woman. I have 4 beautiful children. And 3 out of those 4 children are under 4 years old. As a newborn, a 1-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and then my amazing 12-year-old boy who is phenomenal on helping out with his siblings. But they are also the reason why I have to wake up so early in the morning, because I need to be able to focus on my recovery. And one of the major areas that I need to focus on my recovery is my muscles. They constantly need to have that stimulus to be able to operate. Now, my muscles don't operate very normally on their own. They spasm, they cramp up, they're always tense, very uncomfortable. I'm sitting right here right now and both my calves are cramped up. They're cramping and it's kind of like a little Charlie horse thing, but I don't feel the pain. Another reason or symptom of my failure of my nervous system. So I have to work out. Now, if I had to pick a disease that forced me to work out for the rest of my life, I guess I picked the correct one, right? Because I don't have an option, I don't have a choice, I have to work out. When I do not work out, my whole body, my legs, even my upper body, it really affects with how flexible and mobile I am chasing 3 kids around. When I don't work out, my muscles cramp up. When I sit down, it's very difficult for me to stand up. My reflexes are all off. It's just not fun. It's not beneficial at all. And what goes alongside with my muscles is they have a constant burn and constant pain. Now, it's not an excruciating pain, but when you've had this discomfort for 16 months and going, it gets pretty tiring pretty quickly. So what I feel is what you would think of as rug burn. So if you got rug burn or mat burn and you know that stinging, burning sensation, well, I have that pretty much from the moment I wake up until I go to sleep, from my abs all the way down to my thighs, my shin, my calves, and my ankles and feet. It is a constant sensation, and there is so far no medical treatment that can alleviate that sensation. Another symptom that I deal with on a day-to-day basis is going to be nerve pain. And it's usually come when I'm working out so early in the morning, because my body doesn't communicate very well to my legs, especially when they're sore. It doesn't send a sore signal. It actually sends nerve pain. And that is my body trying to find a form of communication to let me know that my muscle might be tender, I might be pushing too hard, or just because it's trying to send a signal to flex when I'm doing a deadlift or something. So in the middle of workouts, whether I'm bench pressing, whether I'm squatting, deadlift, I get nerve pain, my muscles spasm, and that's no fun at all. Now let's move forward for the rest of my day. After I'm done working out, then it's time, by that time my kids wake up, and I assist my wife on helping her get ready with the rest of the kids, get the kids good to go and getting all dressed up and ready for daycare. So my 2 middle children go to daycare, the youngest stays at home, and my 12-year-old is doing long distance learning. You know, we gotta love the season we're in, right? And at the meantime, I'm making breakfast for myself And I unfortunately cannot afford to have a lazy breakfast or a fast breakfast or cereal or anything whatsoever, because another thing that affected me just as equally as great as my lack of muscle mobility and usage is my bowels and bladder. I need to be very precise with the foods that go into my body and my system, and not because I want to look fit or I want to look a specific way. It's honestly because I can't pass a bowel and I have no control of my bladder. I'm grateful though that I don't go on myself, that I still have some form of communication to let me know when I do need to pass a bowel or when I do need to release my bladder, but I don't have no control of it. And that's not always a very nice subject or fun subject to talk about, but it's the truth. So I absolutely cannot afford to just eat anything. I tried it, and all it does, it just gives me misery and overall discomfort. My day is all about comfort management, of managing my discomfort and trying to control what part of my body is going to be less uncomfortable. So therefore my nutrition has to be very spot on. I definitely don't have any more fast food. I enjoyed it, I loved it, but it doesn't no good for my body. It doesn't do good for anybody's body, but that's a subject for another day. But in my sense, I eat too much red meat. I can't even eat too much chicken. I can't eat too much veggies either. And so it's about finding that perfect balance for the foods that need to benefit me on a day-to-day basis, because I don't like to be constipated and I don't like to have to constantly check myself for my bladder, because I actually have to pump my stomach to be able to go to the bathroom when I haven't gone and released my bladder. Don't want to go into much details, but you get the idea. It's not fun at all. So the time that I making my breakfast is very calculated, very spot on, and I need to make sure that it benefits me, because it's going to kind of set the mood for the rest of the day. So the kids are ready. It's time to go. I drop them off to daycare. It's on my way to work, and before work, I tend to hit up the grocery store to be able to get my strawberries. I love strawberries for many reasons, but they're delicious and they're very good for my bowels and for my bladder. And then my lunch for work. I need to be very informative of the ingredients that are in my food so they don't cause me any discomfort. So I'm just gonna say that is what dictates the rest of my day on what I can eat. I treat myself from time to time and I'll go and have some In-N-Out or some Chick-fil-A, but that's definitely not in the beginning of the week. That's more in the middle of the week. And that's after I know that I was very, very meticulous and spot on what I had for breakfast or the foods around that. So that's something that I have to focus on and worry about every single day. Now, I have a stationary job, you would say. It's not very mobile. So I have to constantly always stand up. I can't stay sitting and I can't stay standing for too long either. It doesn't matter what position I pick, my muscles just don't like it. If I sit for too long, my muscles are cramped up. They are just not having it. If I stay standing for too long, my feet just start to cramp up and I'm very uncomfortable. I have to resort to using CBD creams to be rubbed on my legs to be able to release some of the tension on there. Yes, I use CBD creams. No, I'm not your doctor and telling you that you should do it, but in my case, it works. It's actually one of the only things that can relax my muscles enough for me to function. So I'm not gonna tell you what I do for work. I work. And now it's time to go home. I'm home about 5:30. By this time, my body's wiped out already. I'm exhausted. I've already gone through pre-workout in the morning. I've already gone to 2 cups of coffee. I'm having nerve pain left and right. My legs are burning. I feel constipated and I'm constantly having to go use the bathroom because I drink a lot of liquids, a lot of water, a lot of tea, and a lot of sparkling water as well. So I have to rush home, and every single time I get home, I have to rush past my kids because I have to release my bladder, and there's absolutely no way around that whatsoever. And side note, COVID has made it very difficult for me and people who have very big bladders to use the bathroom because we can't go into random buildings anymore to use restrooms. Yeah. So I get home. I've been able to relieve myself, and I get to spend time with my children, and that is the toughest part because by that time my legs are already gassed out. By that time my body's worn out and it's exhausted and it's tired because my body lacks the ability to rest, lacks the ability to recover. And that doesn't mean I get to take some time off and just go and lay down, but I need to invest into my children because I love them, and it's something that I am very passionate about, and is being a dad. So I throw myself on the ground and play with my children, run up and down. I'm very involved in feeding them and playing with them and putting them to bed. And my 3-year-old enjoys the game of I'm gonna stay up as late as I want to, and I'm gonna throw tantrums left and right because you know what? That's what a 3-year-old does. And I don't clock out. I push through, and my wife sees it, and she tries to help as best as possible to be able to alleviate some of the stress and pressure that my body goes through, but unfortunately she cannot, and I cannot. And I push through. I help my children shower, get them in their PJs, we pray, and I put them in bed one by one. The only one I don't put to sleep is my 3-month-old because she breastfeeds, so I don't have that ability. So this time now, it's now 9:30, and maybe my 3-year-old is going to sleep. And if he does, I have the ability to spend maybe 30 minutes with my wife. And I'm still in a interrupted time because she's exhausted. I'm for sure exhausted, but I need to go to sleep because I have to wake up the next day and do it all over again. In no way, shape, or form am I want this video to be a pity me or poor me kind of thing, but I want to be able to let people into my life and into a new world of a world full of diseases. And our disease isn't really known, and our disease isn't something very common, because especially because my disease in my case doesn't affect my exterior. So when you see me outside, I'm walking normal because I force myself to walk normal. I look normal. I like to think, not bragging, pretty fit. And when people hear like, oh, I work out 7 days a week, not by choice, but because I have to, automatically you assume that everything's fine and everything's great, especially because we all do a great job hiding what's going on with us. But I don't want to hide. I want to be able to be as transparent as possible, and to know that every single day since January 2019, the 25th on a Friday, my life has been difficult. It has not gotten better. It has definitely not gotten easier. Currently right now found out that I'm having issues with my kidneys. So far I've had issues with my spleen being enlarged and exposing out of my rib cage. I've already have issues with my bowels and bladders. I already have issues with my tendons and my ligaments, with my muscles, lack of communication. I forgot to throw in there that I feel no external pain at all. So I gotta constantly also check to make sure I don't have any cuts and bruises, because there's times where I'm walking around the house and I'm bleeding and I didn't know. and my wife has to catch that. So that is what I go through from day to day. But just because that's what I go through, I refuse to be negative, and I refuse to be bitter, and I refuse to use a pity card, because just because my life is difficult and is this difficult does not mean that I get to just be rude and the jerk and be very spiteful and hateful, because no one wants to be around that. That's not fun at all. So I no longer know what I'm trying to tell you, but I hope you receive something from this, and I hope by letting you in on what I feel on a day-to-day basis, and this is a good day, because my bad days, well, everything just intensifies, and that's for sure not fun at all. So the day that I actually described is a day I hope for a good day, that everything goes normal to my baseline of normal. So I hope that was some form of enlightenment, or just to be honest with you, I'm not sure what this is supposed to do for you in your life, but I know that I felt compelled to let you into my life, and I hope that this is doing something positive. I hope this is encouraging you, and I hope this is motivating you. For what? I'm not sure, but I hope it's for good. I hope it's for compassion. I hope it's for love and for grace. You guys have a good one. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.